Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with ATBBQ.com, and this is Bacon Mushroom Swiss Meatloaf. I love me a bacon mushroom Swiss cheeseburger, so I figured why not put it into meatloaf form. So for the meatloaf itself, we're using this Creekstone Farms ground beef. It's a brisket blend, roughly 80-20. Just gonna break those pucks up. We usually use these for burgers. For binder, we're gonna add in a couple of eggs. We'll just give those a quick whisk so that they mix in nicely. Then we've got a 1/3 cup of panko breadcrumbs, also gonna help hold everything together. And here's where the Swiss comes into play. We're gonna add a couple ounces of grated Swiss, and then we've got our big flavoring agents. So we're gonna microplane down some garlic so it just kind of melts right into that meatloaf. We'll go for about 1 tablespoon. Now we've got the W sauce, the Worcestershire. We'll add about a teaspoon of that in. And for seasoning, we're using the beef rub from Yoder Smokers, about 1 tablespoon. There's gonna be more on the outside, but we're gonna flavor this from the inside as well. Now the thing about meatloaf is you definitely don't wanna overwork it and turn it into sausage. So I'm gonna try and work this as little as possible while also getting all of the ingredients distributed evenly. And this is the reason why we're not gonna do this like in a stand mixer or with any heavy equipment. Just get your hands dirty and work it all together. So we're not gonna cook this in a pan today. We're gonna cook it kind of like a sausage fatty in a free form. That way we get nice texture and flavor all the way around it. So we'll kind of form this into a loaf shape, and then we're gonna roll it up to fully form it. Press it into that loaf. And at this point, if you want to, you can go let this sit in the fridge for a couple hours, even overnight if you need to, or it's ready to go right now. All right, so let's get it out of here now that it's formed. Holding together just enough to hold together onto the grill. We're gonna hit this with just a little bit more of that beef rub from Yoder Smokers. Now we're cooking on the Yoder Smokers YS640S pellet grill, set up for indirect cooking at 350 degrees with hickory pellets. With the meatloaf cooking, we're gonna be making our bacon and mushroom sauce that's gonna go over the top of the meatloaf. Start by rendering out a 1/2 pound of thick cut bacon that's been diced. So you can see all this fat that we've rendered out of the bacon. It's getting nice and crispy, which is gonna add some extra texture to this sauce, but there's too much fat in here, so we're gonna strain it off. Now we can get started on mushrooms. We're doing equal parts by weight on the mushrooms and bacon, so we need 8 ounces of mushrooms. Because I want this to have some texture, we're just gonna have these and slice them, not super thin. Got all that great bacon fond on the bottom that's gonna work its way into the sauce. We're gonna add about a tablespoon or 2 of that bacon fat back and then throw the mushrooms in. Because of how salty that bacon is, we really don't need to add any seasoning to this. What we're gonna see happen here is the water's gonna start to come out of these mushrooms. It's going to get all of that fond off the bottom as we get some liquid in there. Those mushrooms are softening up a bit, getting a little bit of browning around the edges. So now we're gonna add our liquids. We start with 1 cup of beef stock and 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And then we're gonna throw in about a tablespoon of our triple crunch pickled mustard seeds. We've been cooking over dead medium heat, really, as far as this burner goes. Right now I'm gonna pop it up to high heat, and then once it comes to a simmer, we'll lower it back down and just let this reduce. Our liquid has reduced down now, and it'll get even more saucy as it starts to cool off. So we're gonna throw the bacon back in, and then we're ready to slice into this meatloaf. here we are, about an hour and 45 minutes in. We've got this great crust on the outside. It's sitting about 160 internal. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this thing off. So this has had about 15 minutes to rest now. We're gonna divide it into 8 fairly equal portions. All right. Here's the inside shot, fully cooked, still holding on to its juices. Let's not squeeze them too hard. It's gonna serve this with some mashed potatoes. Let's throw down a slice of that meatloaf. And then we'll top it off with our mushrooms and bacon to complete our bacon mushroom Swiss meatloaf. Why not add a little bit more Swiss? Let's get a taste. All right. The meatloaf is solid. It's simple, but it lets everything around it shine. The bacon, the mushrooms, that creamy beef stock that we put in there. And then you put bacon and mashed potatoes in the same dish. Dude, nobody's gonna complain about that. And if they do, they're not your real friend. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out ATBBQ.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, if there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.